On the Canadian west coast, there's a group of islands called the Gulf Islands. One of these, Salt Spring, is well known as a refuge for people seeking sustainability away from the negative aspects of a modern world. Dan Jason lives on that island and is an organic gardener. He is also author of several books and the leader of the Seed and Plant Sanctuary for Canada. One of the most important activities on Salt Spring Island is the Ganges Saturday Market. Here, vendors must make it, bake it, or grow it themselves. This is the essence of the market and reflects many of the island people's philosophy of life. At the market, you will discover distinctive decorative arts, clothing, and jewelry. There is also plenty of organic food to go around and free festive fun. If all this were not enough, it's a good place to meet local poets. After this inspiring stop at the local market, I went further inland looking for Dan Jason. Dan received me in one of the gardens of the Seed and Plant Sanctuary for Canada, otherwise known as the Seed Sanctuary.
Hi, you guys. Welcome to the Salt Spring Center Garden.
Hello, Dan.
You picked a beautiful day to come. You ready for a walkabout?
Oh, yes.
See all the flowers and the herbs and the yummy foods?
We definitely want to see your garden.
Okay, come on down.
We're following you.
Come on. The Seed Sanctuary is a network of people across Canada who are trying to maintain our endangered heritage varieties of all kinds of seeds. And it's based on Salt Spring Island, where we're growing out all the major food crops and all the medicinal plants that we can possibly grow in Canada. We're keeping records of them here. We're maintaining all these varieties, and we're trying to get backup collections everywhere across the country, in every province and every kind of climate zone. It's quite different than the thing that's going on right now in Norway, for example, and in other places where they're trying to create gene banks where seeds are just stored away in the event of some future disaster. But our whole approach is that kind of disaster that we're putting seeds away for is really happening right now. The world is changing so fast that if we don't adapt and if we don't keep on growing out seeds that are constantly adapting to the changing environmental conditions, then we won't have any seeds at all. When you freeze seeds for however many years and keep them in the event that they'll be needed down the line, it forgets the whole notion that plants are adapting all along. Right now, there's some things I've noticed just in the few years that I've been saving seeds where conditions are so changed that you have to grow things in different ways. There's a shed over there with all the garlic hanging because I know that if I put the garlic out in the sun to cure, the sun will actually fry the garlic. And it used to be that there was no problem that way at all, but with the change in the ozone, you can't do that anymore. And it's like that for a lot of other things. The point being that we have to keep on growing things out. It has to be a living gene bank. Otherwise, we could be in trouble. We won't have any seeds for the future. The main base of the Seed Sanctuary is here on Salt Spring Island. Because I live here and because people know me, I've put it out to the whole community, the importance of saving these heritage seeds. And we've kind of taken it on really as an island. Of all the people in the Seed Sanctuary so far, half of those are probably on Salt Spring. Everybody's doing all this for free. All we have to do is maintain the databases on our website, and that's really the only expense. Everybody communicates with each other through email or phone or letters, and it's basically a communication system, and every buddy who loves seeds doing their job of preserving those seeds and just staying in contact with each other. So it is quite incredible in that this whole project has nothing whatsoever to do with money. Well, we're in the main greenhouse for starting the plants, and from beginning of February through March, April, May, this is just full of the baby plants before they go out into the field. And now it's kind of the leftovers. It's mainly what we got in here are peppers and basils and some tomatoes. And soon all of these will be out because this becomes the place where all the seeds are dried for the seed sanctuary. And they come in and they're all on trays, and they take another day or two drying, and then I take them out and thresh them and process them. So this is a two-purpose greenhouse for starting things and for the whole drying process. The equipment that you need to get the seed is pretty basic. I have a little air compressor that I blow the chaff away, but even with that I could just use screens, and all it takes is screens and buckets, really, and that's all the materials you need.
Do you think that there is a myth about the efficiency of modern technology in agriculture?
Well, let's face it, we've been saving seeds on this planet for 10,000 years, and everybody's been doing a pretty good job of it, and we've had an unbelievable selection of all kinds of food and medicinal crops, and that's been done without our so-called great scientific advancement in terms of developing seeds. That whole thing is all about just ways to make money and to control the resource. It has nothing to do with the ease of saving seeds. Actually, the opposite. Science has increasingly brought us non-food that has no nutrition whatsoever, and it's destroying all the great food that we've had forever and ever on this planet.
Some observers say that you are very pessimistic. What do you think?
Actually, I think I'm extremely optimistic. I can see a future where we get back to small-scale agriculture, people working together on the land in harmony with everything else that's going on the planet, and growing food for communities, growing it in a much more sensible way. It's a beautiful occupation, and many, many more people should be involved with the very basic thing of growing food for us so that we can all enjoy this planet. And we're going to be forced to do this, so we might as well just start waking up to the fact that that's the way to go, instead of trying to exploit the entire planet with no thought of what's coming back whatsoever.
Do you really think that people in the cities should move to the countryside?
Well, I think that people in the cities should move back to the countryside, some of them, because for most people it's a horrible life in the city, and I attest that it can be a beautiful life in the country, and that many, many more people should have the right and privilege to enjoy that. And I do think there is a movement afoot to, kind of like in the 60s, but in a much more serious way, where we realize we have to re-inhabit the earth. We can't just live in the cities without any consciousness